We're here. We made it. Y'all, it's another year, a new year. Happy New Year's to you, to the Lad City tribe, our vibe, our tribe. We're so happy to be here with you. Is it still early in the NFT space? I don't know, but we're going to talk about it and some of our, favorite news articles. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about. So thanks for coming out with us.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Welcome to Art Start Now, guys. Let's go.
All right.
The next action, okay.
Art starts now.
Art start now. We're gonna make it just creative, put it down. Art start now. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Start now.
Man, it's going to be a crazy year for NFTs. I know that. So I could not be more excited to be kicking off the new year with y'all, with the Lad City, and with our Nifty Castle friends, Lola, Whoa Boy. Happy New Year's to y'all. And did we already make it? I mean, we're here. So I guess we made it.
Mm-hmm. We surely did make it. 2022. Just happy to have you guys next to me. But the news is still the news. We're digging into it, Fun Uncle and Lola. So let's talk a little bit about what we got going on here. This is actually a friend of ours was a part of this event, Alex Alpert at OneOf. Never before heard Whitney Houston song sells for nearly $1 million at NFT auction. So posthumous, it was a demo of Whitney Houston's, and man, what a voice that woman has. Wonderful artist, basically record breaking on the Tezos chain too. It's the biggest. I think it's the biggest sale that has ever happened on Tezos. I believe so.
It's got to be up
monumental.
That's big for Tezos because, I mean, one of the things that I've been talking to a lot of people about, everybody's speculating like, oh, will ETH continue to reign in the NFT space? Can other blockchains survive, or will other blockchains overtake it? Whether it's Solana or Tez or any of these others. And to me, I think of it like the streaming wars, right? At first, there was just Netflix and everybody thought they were a joke, HBO and all the big content networks, the TV stations, traditional stations, they all laughed at Netflix and thought they were crazy until they got a hit, right? Until House of Cards came and they started getting nominated and winning awards. And now, look what happened, right? So to me, that's how I think of it, is that you've got the Bored Apes, you've got all these big projects and big communities invested in these different chains. And so in order for me to take some of these newer chains seriously, like what they need is some hits, right? And so to have, big sales, have big pieces of content launching and to show the capabilities, I think that's huge for Tez and for everybody who's invested in that chain.
Also, just historically, Tez is more cost friendly for people getting into the NFT space that are going to be sharing their art, and obviously environmentally, there's less of an impact like negatively on the environment with Tezos as well. So that's why a lot of people tend to skew that way, because it's an opportunity for people to make their art immutable, but also to get their art out there in the same ethos that everyone else is participating. It's just sometimes it's just really tough to share your work on Ethereum because it's really expensive. Like, it's not in everyone's budget, to be honest, artist wise.
Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't have been able to mint my first piece had people in the community literally just give me the funds for my first my mint fee on OpenSea. So I owe a lot to the community for that.
I didn't know that. That's
Yeah.
that's awesome. And I'm thankful for them to to help you out and give you that opportunity. Do you think that was instrumental in you continuing to be a part of like this world and of NFTs and just like the space just generally?
Yeah, that was definitely just a launch pad for me to get started. I've never bought crypto before. I've never invested in crypto. I've only ever earned it thanks to, like I said, just people investing in me or just believing in me and onboarding me into the community. And
Oh,
that's what I
wow.
love about the space. That's what I love about the people in the space and NFTs. So shout out to y'all. It's been real since like February of this year. Pivotal moment for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2021. Yeah. I've been in multiple different like clubhouse rooms and different types of spaces where people have stepped up to, help fund, people's first mints or their initialization fees on OpenSea, or just stepping up to help onboard in real ways. And so that's a really cool story to know, Lola, that you were, that you kind of benefited from one of those experiences. And, for me, that definitely was one of the things early on that I saw in this community, was that, paying it forward, trying to help out, educating and bringing each other in. So like, I love to hear that that's part of your story as well. Like that's beautiful.
Yeah, for sure. And I only hope to be able to pay that forward, like just any opportunity that I can to be able to do that for other artists, whether it be for like by educating them. I literally was having a conversation with a group of people last night who were like, "What are NFTs?" And I'm like, "Oh snap, here we go!" And just like stood around a fire pit. It was kind of dope.
That is cool. That is cool. But yeah,
Yeah.
this is
And
a monumental moment. This is a big
is
moment
it,
for the
but I
NFT
mean,
space.
and bringing it back to that question, like, is it still early? You've got
Mm.
Whitney Houston selling tracks for $1 million on Tez. It's 2022 now. Can we still say it's early, or how early in the space are we? Obviously there's been all these big entries, big companies like Nike and Adidas that have been recently investing. And now you've got, these types of activations, these types of sales being made. I don't know. In 2022, do we get to keep saying that it's early? What do y'all
I
think?
mean, the space moves exceptionally fast. Like a day is a week, and a week is a month, and a month is a year. And since I first started, it's been a lifetime. Like my life has definitely changed since I started looking into NFTs. So it's hard to say. It's very, very hard to say where we'll be or where we're at even
I,
now.
I will say, I think that it's easy to, just because big names are entering the market and stuff. The market, the market is still relatively, like, as far as awareness goes. There's still not a lot of, the majority of people are not aware of like NFTs or participated in this space, due to a lot of different like barriers to entry and stuff. But I think just because these big names are entering, it doesn't mean that it's still not early. It's maturing. It's in the process of maturing. I wouldn't say it's like it is the very beginnings anymore, but I would still consider it early. I'd still say that. I'm confident in that.
Yeah, and it's like we're kind of in an echo chamber in a way that we're on a certain part of the internet where it feels like everyone's talking about NFTs and just posting about them or making them. But if we tap into someone's phone who is not in the space at all, we'll see that people are still like focused on other things.
I love it. And yeah, I mean, most of the bigger companies that have been investing are pretty innovative, early mover type companies as well. But I mean, we got to bring in Fun Uncle to give us the last word. Whatever the bus driver says goes. So, Fun Uncle,
Oh.
Quite
is it
literally,
still
yes.
early? Is it still early? It's up to you to decide. You get the last word on this.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
muted.
yeah. That's a great point.
Yeah,
That's a great point.
exactly.
Well
Yeah,
said. Well
My
said.
that's a
thoughts. My thoughts
really well
exactly. I
said.
think I've said it
Yeah,
better
yeah,
than myself. You
yeah.
said it.
It's really
That's how we
early.
want to start out the year. That's how we
It's
want to
super
start out
early.
the year.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm still a little hungover from my New Year's celebrations. I cut some rugs out on the New Year's dance floor, as I do, Hawaiian shirts in tow. But no, I think it's extraordinarily early in the space in that just general, it's so hard to get into them. Like, in order to get an NFT, you need to first buy Ethereum, then move that into a MetaMask, and then buy it with through the MetaMask with another piece of currency. And we're hoping that whenever Coinbase, knock on wood, comes out with it soon here, we will be able to just with a credit card. We will limit that barrier of entry into it. And I was actually having a conversation with some buds the other day about how they were talking about how they don't want to get into this space because there's a couple NFTs that are infringing on copyright. And so they think that, because there's this small group of NFTs that are, breaking the law, they think the entire space is a house of cards. And I was like, no. Just that one project will be shut down, and OpenSea and Coinbase and Crypto.com will get stronger and stronger every day. They will just push out the problem childs once, regulation comes through. And in many ways, I look at regulation as a good thing. That's going to help artists. That's going to help the exchanges. That's going to get more people involved and trusting in the space. And the fact that we've got big daddy government and shape-shifting lizard elite capitalists who don't want NFTs or cryptocurrency are still hating on it, that just tells me we're so early on that the baby boomers aren't in on it yet. And the Gen Zs are in the garage right now, in their parents' garage, like figuring out the future of the metaverse. And so I'm looking to the future generations to push us into, the next generation. So all of that said, very, very early on, and huge, big time bull over here.
There you go. I mean, hey, if Fun Uncle says it, then it's got to be true. So for all of y'all hanging out listening, it's still early. Congratulations. Even though it's 2022 now, it's still early. And, thank goodness that y'all are here with us building Web3. And, shout out Lad City again. We couldn't be more stoked to be part of this dope network of creators, content makers, builders of Web3 and this awesome future together. So Fun Uncle, I'm happy you're here, man. I'm happy you're building with us, dude. And so thanks for that. Thanks for reassuring us that it is still very early on. So early. So I felt good. I felt good. Your answer just felt good,
Even if I'm wrong, choose positivity at every path of life. Choose the positive option all the time.
Oh yes, that's how we keep on going.
Laws for living. Yeah.
Speaking of the metaverse, I've got this other news article here about VR workrooms. Is this pertinent to what you might be talking about?
The VR workrooms app, it was having, so Spatial in particular, they've pivoted to being an NFT platform because a lot of what they noticed is that their business model and for VR workspaces, it just became a hindrance and people just wanted to Zoom. Honestly, like the experience people would lag out and they're like, all right, let's just simplify this. But they're using their technology they're pivoting and they see that they have an opportunity to become like an on cyber or something similarly. So a lot of companies are trying to see how they can take some of their technology and see if they can apply it to the NFT space. Because it's a big opportunity for people to have another stream, like for companies to have a new stream of income. But yeah, there's going to be plenty of ways to display your art with all these new companies coming in and AR and VR just being like there's lots of opportunities there. So
Bill Gates recently and famously said that within 3 years, or he thinks the time horizon is 3 years for businesses to be holding their meetings in the metaverse. So, maybe they're just thinking 3 years ahead. Because obviously, to your point, there's a lot of sort of barriers or technical issues. And, there's kind of a leap still to go, I think, at this point, to get a lot of businesses to be fully adopting, VR workrooms and meeting rooms. But, this could be one of those players that's thinking, 2 to 3 years ahead and onboarding a bunch of businesses.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're definitely, I would agree that it is, they're a bit ahead of the curve. But also a lot of the things that are being developed on Web3, sometimes it's a bit cumbersome to process all of that information, blockchain information, because when you're integrating Web3 into your app, it's going to make it even more difficult. So I'm curious how they are able to tackle that if they were already having issues technologically, just working in just people like a VR Zoom type of thing, but now add on top of that Web3. I wonder what that looks like. So who knows? We shall see what Spatial develops into in the future. But it's just interesting to see these companies pivoting and entering the space because they do see an opportunity for people to appreciate their work here because a lot of people are making art and they want to offer a new way to see it. So
yeah, it also reminds me recently I was talking to somebody about how at Art Basel they had partnerships with all the hotels so that all the TV screens in the hotels were displaying different NFT art that you could basically just QR code from your hotel room and, purchase it. And I don't know, it's a very different idea, but it's still thinking more in that high level enterprise solutions type of mode. And now it's got me thinking, like, what are the first companies that are going to adopt NFTs as their, as their employee sort of access tokens, right? So is it going to be like Electronic Arts and Ubisoft and Microsoft? Are they going to be the first ones that start saying, hey, if you're an employee, then you've got not just like a badge, but you've got an NFT token that's like your entire work life for us that's associated with it. And then it's like, if you ever leave the company, they just like burn your NFT.
Oh my gosh, that's actually, hey, that's symbolic. That's kind of that. What a process that is. But it makes sense. I feel like a lot of things are going to that we might be joking about it, but a lot of the systems that we use day to day, I think, are eventually going to be utilizing NFT, like smart contracts or blockchain technology, because it's just the immutable nature of it, and also the ease of being able to like for like transactional purposes. It just makes too much sense. So that's the direction we're heading in. Onward.
Here's the question. Lola, should we partner with this company to create a nifty castle virtual workroom so that all these businesses can go hold their meetings inside the nifty castle? I mean,
oh man, and you have to
too corporate. Yeah.
They have to do the role playing thing that we did in the clubhouse. They got to show up and they have to be like in a specific medieval costume. I think when I came in, I was just like an alien cat that's like invading.
You were.
So these guys have to come in and have these meetings and play the game.
I mean, it makes it a lot more fun, I would say. I would much rather go to a business meeting if I knew that I was going to play Take the Throne, and I had to introduce myself as Gifted the Grateful, along with Woah Boy the Wise and Lola Menthol the Magnificent. That sounds like a lot more fun for me. But yeah, very cool. What else we got? We got more news to talk about. What else?
No, man, that's all the news, man. We're gonna dig it. Oh wait, we have something else.
See, there it is. See, he found it. I mean, Fun Uncle, he's always on point. He knows what we're talking about. So yeah, I mean, 3 years, that seems reasonable. I feel like COVID is going to impact this timeline, because if COVID keeps being awful and people are stuck at home more and more, longer and longer, and not going outside, hopefully that's not the case. But I do feel like if COVID continues to be a massive global issue, that it's going to speed up this timeline.
I think, well, yeah, the more that we're shut in, the more people are going to keep creating, and the more that people are going to have an opportunity to just like, yeah, I guess be to themselves and their work, because even though it's tough isolating yourself as an artist too. Well, depending on what type of artist you are, you might be like more introverted or whatever, but I like being out and around people. I like going to shows and venues, but that certainly does speed up sort of the process of development and everything too. So we'll see. I mean, I'm already rocking my avatar. We're doing it now. Okay. We're doing it now. These people that are coming in, they're behind the times. We welcome you, but certainly, just remember who had a DB on as their PFP first.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm glad you brought that up, because the next episode that we're going to do, we're all just going to be talking 3D avatars. That's the next iteration of the Art Start Now show, is that we all just become 3D avatars, PFPs, totally anonymous faces. So thank goodness we've got the genius Fun Uncle and the Lad City crew working on that for us. But yeah, if we don't have any more news, then is it time to talk about art? I mean, does art start now?
Art starts now.
It starts now, and one of our previous interviews with our friend Mike Mongo, who popped into our brunch in Miami, as well as everyone came through, but I was super stoked to see Mike Mongo come through. And the Muttniks project is something that JeffJag, an artist and friend of our community, he developed this piece, and he's paid tribute to a lot of different projects. and including DBs. You scroll down, fun uncle. Look at that. Look at that little demon baby. Oh my gosh. That is a fancy DB right there.
That is wild. Absolutely
fine art.
Absolutely.
But the variety of artwork from Jeff is freaking fantastic. Like, yeah, look at this Muttniks piece of them adventuring in space. That flashlight, like it looks like you'd see this on the front of a book. Like this would be something that I would pick up.
That does look. It looks like an adventure book for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and but I'm just so appreciative of his. The guy is just a wonderful talent. But if you could go back to his Instagram and just like scroll through, he does 3D artwork as well. This guy is phenomenal, and he just he's so versatile as an artist. Man.
Yeah, I mean, he's also creating some of the craziest watercolor paintings that I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that went up for auction. Now that I think about it, it went up for auction, and you know, since we've filmed this, baby, I hope someone dug in and bought that, because it is beautiful. Let's share the piece. It's the next tab. If you take a look at that, fun uncle, it's the, oh my gosh, look at that. Unlimited Curiosity. Oh, wow. This is freaking beautiful. Yep. Oh man,
I love how he's using like hard shapes that look inorganic in a watercolor, because I feel like whenever I see watercolors, you don't see a lot of hard lines and geometric, you know, shapes. It's usually very flowing, because that's the nature of using water. But yeah, the way that he's managed to incorporate like sort of hard line geometric shapes into this, I don't think I've ever seen watercolors quite like it, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, that does not look easy to make. Like you said, working with water and how it's usually more like organic, and the fact that there's hard lines there, I would love to hear his process of making this piece.
Yeah, water flows or it can crash, as Bruce Lee once said. Yeah. But
be water.
Be water, my friend. But Jeff, again, thank you for all that you've done for the community and all the different ways that you've portrayed so many of these projects with your fantastic eye, man. Thank you for lending your art to this world. Really appreciate it. And
give him a follow. I mean, the links will be in the description, right? So definitely check out JeffJag's work and give him a follow. We'll be putting those in the description of this video, because yeah, he's a super talent and an amazing, like what was saying, an amazing part of the NFT community as far as we're concerned. So yeah, shout out JeffJag. Who else we got to look? We got any other awesome artists?
We've got plenty, and this is a single piece. It's very cute. This right here is from a call girl. It is like one of her two pieces, but she stitches, and it's stop motion stitching as well as like dyeing.
Oh snap! This is next level, everyone.
It's so cute.
The eyes are great, but yeah, I don't think I've ever seen stop motion animation using I don't know, sewing,
stitching.
Yeah, with stitching. Look at the eyes in the beginning. He's like angry or just like stressed or whatever, and then he closes it and the butterfly comes around.
This is also a great representation of like meditation and what it's like to just try to sit and meditate. You'll get these thoughts. Like I'm taking it as the butterfly and the other small Pepe heads being thoughts that come. And like we're just supposed to allow them to go, and these are like probably the more cumbersome ones. That's why he wakes up. He's like, "Fuck."
Oh, I see. That's
like we're supposed to make the thoughts pass. Like this butterfly's like, okay, a thought, and he's gonna close his eyes, let it pass. It just goes, yeah.
And then he just he starts to drift away, and then suddenly the thoughts come in. Here comes the Pepes. The Pepes are taking over, spinning around. Oh, that's pretty good. That's a wonderful interpretation. Cool. Yeah.
Who's the artist though? Let's talk about
McCall Girl. McCall Girl is what she goes
McCall
by.
Girl.
Yeah, McCall Girl.
McCall Girl. Okay, cool. Yeah,
Nice.
McCall
Okay.
Girl. Oh, okay. Because straight up, like, I'm just gonna be honest. I thought you said a call girl, and I was
Oh
like,
no!
interesting way to describe the artist. So yeah, shout out McCaw Girl, and yeah, we'll definitely put her links in the description as well. I love that piece. It's definitely unique.
Love it too. It's super.
I have
unique.
not seen anything. I've not seen anything quite like it, and yeah, very cool.
Yeah, definitely unique.
Yeah, she has a lot of
Definitely
stitching on her Instagram. Yeah. Lots of
Oh, it's a
stitching.
great. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So lots of decorative stuff. And great messaging too. Thank you for that.
Yeah, it shows the
And
diversity of voice to these NFTs.
True. And now we're getting into surreal shit.
McCaw Girl seems like the type of person, the type of artist that is absolutely like slaying it on Etsy. You know what I mean? I don't know for sure, but like I feel like she would kill it on Etsy. But
I would think
anyway,
so.
all right. Yeah, we'll keep it moving. We'll keep it moving.
Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling to David Masters. Surreal 24/7 is what he goes by. And wow, like just the color. It's photography, composited, and he actually has a statement that on his page it says, "I create imaginative works of art by combining many photos into one surreal digital compilation. Most of the images I create develop in my mind as a result of feelings I experience at certain moments of my life. I'm not very good at communicating my feelings, so I have a genuine need to express my stories through the art I create. The feelings can be embarrassing or even childlike, and by utilizing these emotions, I can make some pretty interesting art. When a person views my art, I want it to stir up thoughts and feelings. For me, if that does not happen, then it, as a piece of art, was unsuccessful."
Whoa.
Yeah, so a little insight to
Love that.
what drives. Oh, that's so cool. Gosh, man.
Yeah,
That definitely resonated. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't feel like you often see things that are this conceptual with realism and like photo art. At least in terms of like a fine art aesthetic. I don't know. I feel it feels unique to me in that regard. Like I don't feel like I usually look at a lot of high end sort of conceptual photo realism art like this. I don't know. It's very
It
very
feels like it's in the same sort of vein as like Crystal O'Flaherty sort of.
Yeah,
definitely falls into that same
in
category.
his own vibe though, but yeah, like
it feels very cinematic though because it's photo based, because it's like, you know, it's using real actors or models in a lot of it. Like it feels like a lot of this could be movie art or TV, you know, like art for TV series.
The feet.
Yeah, definitely, dude. Those are crazy.
That's
what
crazy.
Are like? Is that a photo? And then
just I don't know. I think so.
Right.
What would the name of that? What would the name of that TV series be with the feet?
He's Got Soul.
Or She's Got Soul.
Sorry, guys.
I mean, because it's the painted pink, but yeah.
It's a step in the right direction, right?
A step in the right direction.
Put your best foot forward, maybe.
That was definitely a fun uncle question.
Untied.
Or Soulless.
Wow.
Yeah.
Totally laced up.
Oh yeah.
Nope.
Totally laced up is really good, fun uncle.
Thanks, guys. I needed that.
So good.
You guys are the best.
Oh my god. Yeah, but those are awesome. And can we shout out the artist? Pull up the artist one more time.
Yeah, David Masters, man.
David
Surreal
Master.
24/7.
Let's go.
Yo.
Guatemala.
Yeah, based in Guatemala. Yeah, wonderful. Thank you for expressing yourself and sharing your art with the world as well. I can't wait to shout you out. And oh my God, look at that! Holy crap, dude! That's it
That's
doesn't
wild.
it's so real. It doesn't. It's surreal. You have a perfect name.
Got chills.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love the name Surreal 24/7. It's a very cool name. Big fan of everything surreal, and yeah, big fan of your art. So again, check them out in the links in the description. We're gonna be linking all these incredible artists. Make sure to give them some love, give them some likes. It doesn't cost you anything just to go follow, like, and share these incredible artists, but it means a lot to them. So shout out to the artists. Keep making your dope work. It's a new year, and we can't wait to keep featuring amazing artists on this show with the crew and, hanging out with y'all in the Lad City. So again, every Saturday, if you don't know what we do, the Nifty Castle, it crash lands inside the walls of the Lad City every Saturday afternoon. We're going to be doing, art process focused content like this. We're going to be doing awesome artist interviews. We're going to be playing some games together, just having a good time, chopping it up. So yeah, thanks for hanging out with us. And definitely do not forget, sponsor of today's episode is Witchy GF. So go to niftycastle.io/WGF and get on the witch list, because that project is going to be launching very soon. This is we're getting close to the last chance to get in on the early access for Witchy GF. So if you are not on the witch list yet, make sure to go to niftycastle.io/WGF and get in on this amazing project that we've been developing with illustrator, creator of the DBs, Sketchnate. You can see some of the key art there for some of the first Witchy GFs. We got the Sacred Circle, we got the Wicked Circle, we got the Queens, we got the Maidens. And this is going to be a deep, deep project with a lot of utilities, not just for DBs holders, but for everybody that gets involved. So check that out. And without further ado, Fun Uncle, our friend, bus driver up there, let us know what else is going on in the city, man, in the city of Lads.
We have skyscrapers in the sky as big as our dreams, and they can hold all of you. Please join us. Type into your browser lads.city. It'll take you to all the sugary sweet goodness. Most importantly, the Discord, chocked full of like-minded cryptocurrency and NFT enthusiasts just like yourself. And most importantly, make sure to check me out Sundays, 1 p.m. on the Lad City YouTube page. Just hang out with your old neighborhood fun uncle. Kick up your shoes and let's talk about some NFTs and cryptocurrency activities. Thanks so much for having me, guys. I love you guys. I love hanging out with you, and I can't wait for 2022. Chock full of Art Start Now episodes. Air hugs, yes. Air hugs all around.
This is just the beginning.
Yes.
Air hugs. Bring it in. Group
nice.
hug. We appreciate you, man. Thanks for shouting it out.
Move.
Yeah, definitely. Always check out Fun Uncle on the Lad City. Smash the subscribe, smash the like button. It helps. Y'all know how algorithms work at this point. We don't have to explain that much to you, but it really makes a difference. And so hit the like, hit the subscribe, and we got one more special little treat, a little thing to share with y'all, which is another very talented artist from the community that we love, Stephen Hutchins, has been working with us, collaborating on creating a dope custom animation just for the Art Start Now crew here. And so we want to give you all the first sneak peek of what Stephen Hutchins has been working on. So check it out, and we'll talk to you next time. Peace.
Art Start